Hey guys, it's Neutron here with another episode of On the Front Green, continuing our Backpackers mini-series. Today I want to take a quick look at water. When you're on the trail, they say you should be drinking at least 2 liters of water a day. So your average 3-day trip is going to require you to have 13 pounds of water. Now you can bring that all from home, but that's an awful lot of weight. So most backpackers are going to find a way to filter or purify the water right here on the trail. Today we're going to take a look at 4 ways that some backpackers are choosing to clean up their water. Now I know it may be tempting to dip your water bottle straight into the creek and take a nice cold drink, but the sad truth is the water's not as clean as it used to be. There's a lot of stuff in that water that won't do us any good if we get it in our bodies. Things like viruses, bacteria, protozoa like Giardia, Cryptosporidium, things like heavy metals, and just plain dirt. So we want to make sure that we can clean that stuff out before we put the water into our bodies. Now one really great option for cleaning your water is to filter it straight from the source. Mechanical filters or pump filters like this Katahdin Waterworks are great in that they're really fast and you can filter out a lot of water really quickly. They do come at a cost though. They're fairly large, they're fairly heavy, and they're quite expensive. I bought this filter probably 10 years ago and I paid over $100 for it at the time. Now there are some cheaper and lighter versions of mechanical filters now, like the Sawyer series, that are far lighter, far smaller, and quite a lot less expensive. Using a mechanical filter is really as easy as dipping the hose into the water, attaching the filter to your bottle, and then pumping the handle until your water bottle is full. Now I used my pump filter for a lot of years, and for the most part I really liked it. But it did get cumbersome to have to clean the elements and wait for the pump to pump, and so more recently I was looking for a lighter option that would be a little bit faster, and what I found was a new device called the SteriPEN. This is a black light or UV style filter. It is battery operated, so that's one of the drawbacks for it. It does take 4 AA batteries, but in order to use it you fill your water bottle full of creek water and then you take off the cap. All you need to do is turn the button on. We'll press it once for 1 liter, twice for half a liter. I press it once, the light turns green, it flashes, and then I put it into my water. And you'll notice that it actually lights up inside the water bottle. It's actually lighting up a black light that deactivates all of the viruses and the bacteria and whatever. And this will take about a minute. Now it is important to keep stirring it while you're filtering it. Just keeps the water moving around and lets that black light be a bit more effective. Now the SteriPEN isn't perfect. It does require the 4 AA batteries, as I said before. They're also fairly expensive. I think this one cost me about $100. I think they have a smaller version now that's a little bit less expensive than that. But you do definitely want to make sure that you have some spare batteries with you. And also bear in mind that this is not going to filter out any of the dirt or dust or leaves or sticks or whatever might be in the water. Alright, we've fast forwarded about 60 seconds. And now the light's going to turn off. Now once it's done filtering, if it for some reason it detected that there was a problem with it, it would actually flash red. Because the light turned off and the light is flashing green, I know that it's done. So I'm simply going to dry off the probes with my bandana or my t-shirt, keep it nice and clean. Put the cap back on it and store it away in my backpack until the next time I need it. Now one of the things I learned a long time ago is that when it comes to water purification, it's always a good idea to have at least 2 methods to be able to clean out your water. You don't want to take the chance of being stuck out on the trail with no way to get good clean water. So while I typically will bring either a pump filter or the black light filter, I'll always back it up with a chemical tablet. These chemical tablets are super cheap. I carry them right in my first aid kit. You can buy these at pretty much any sporting goods store. This is called Potable Aqua. It's made by Coleman Company. They make a Potable Aqua and a Potable Aqua Plus. The Potable Aqua itself is basically an iodine tablet. So basically all I'm going to do is take 2 tablets of the Potable Aqua and drop them right into my water bottle. As you can see, these tablets are pretty small. I'm just going to take 2 of these and drop them right in. Screw it closed and then I'm just going to shake it all up. It's a good idea to keep this moving. I've had it happen before where the iodine tablets sit at the bottom of the bottle And after you let it sit there for 20-30 minutes, it tends to stain the water bottle. So you want to stir this up, and you're going to let this sit for about a half an hour before you're going to drink. Now this is dependent on the temperature of the water. So if the water is cold, it might take a little longer. But if the water is warmer, a half an hour is going to do just fine. So all you're going to do is let it sit for a half an hour. So you might want to fill this up when you're passing a stream, stir it all up, and then head on the trail again for a little bit longer. One important thing to remember with the tablets is typically at this point you've dipped your water bottle right into the creek, and so the threads of your water bottle could be contaminated. So before you actually drink from it, you're going to want to loosen the threads and tip it upside down, and then just let it seep through the threads a little bit to kind of clean off those threads. And then you can close it down and go ahead and drink your water. Now the Potable Aqua and the Potable Aqua Plus are usually sold as a pair, and the reason is the Potable Aqua itself, like I said, is an iodine tablet, and it can lend a bad taste to the water. So sometimes people will choose to add two tablets of PA Plus into the water, wait another 3 to 5 minutes, and that'll help to remove some of that flavor. Other people, they throw some Kool-Aid in the water and call it done. The PA Plus doesn't do anything to clean the water, so you don't need it, but some people like the taste of clean water. Now since you can never have too many backups, I'm going to give you one last option to be able to clean up your water, and that is boiling your water. Boiling your water is really easy. All you need is a pot and a fire source. Typically when I go camping, I always carry my stove to cook my dinner, so I've always got the ability to boil water. And if you didn't bring a camp stove, you can put it into a fire, put your water into a pot, put it in the fire. You're going to want to bring your water up to a boil for about 5 minutes before you consider it to be safe to drink. One of the real drawbacks for boiling your water, however, is that if you like cold water, you're not going to get it when you boil the water. Something else to consider when you're boiling your water, if you're relying on this as your primary method, you're going to want to make sure you have a little bit of extra fuel to get your water up to boil. Now, no matter which option you use to clean your water, there are a couple of basic guidelines that you're going to want to keep in mind. It's always a good idea to start with water that's clean and visually clear. Water with a lot of debris and sediment floating in it is going to clog up the pump filters pretty quickly. And if you're using a filter that, like a UV filter or boiling your water or a chemical tablet, you're going to be leaving all that debris in the water bottle when you're trying to drink from it. It's also a really good idea to make sure that you're keeping your dirty water bottles separate from your clean water bottles. You don't want to reach for a dirty water bottle thinking that that water's already been cleaned. Along the same line, you're going to want to keep your hands clean as well. I always keep a bottle of hand sanitizer with me on the trail so that I can keep my hands washed anytime I'm handling water. And last but not least, you're going to want to make sure that you're following the directions of each of the methods that you've got. Each of the chemical packs or the mechanical filters, anything like that, the UV filters, they all have instructions that come along with them. And every one might be a little bit different. So it's always a good idea to make sure that you read those instructions and you remember those instructions. And I even like to print out the instructions and bring them with me on the trail so that I know I've got something to fall back on. And there you have it, folks. 4 ways to be able to clean up your water the next time you're out on the trail. Folks, I hope you're enjoying the Backpackers Miniseries here on the Front Green at 4-H Camp Bristol Hills. As always, feel free to like and subscribe for the newest content posting every Thursday. We'll see you out on the trail.